Hey, what's up guys? Sorry for the long anticipated part 5. I've recently been on a trip, so I haven't been able to record anything. We should be getting back into routine here for too long. I've got a couple series planned coming up soon. I'll let you guys know more about that later on. If you want to know more about that, join the Discord in the description below. I post more updates there than anywhere else. But I won't bore you for too long, so we'll just get right into this. So today we're going to be focusing on databases. Now databases can be used for a good amount of things, storing user data if you need to for whatever feature you're going to be making. Like later on we'll have a episode where we'll be doing a leveling system like Me6 kind of. So we'll need to store the user's like level and XP. But for today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna be using SqLite, which is basically like MySQL, except it's local. You don't have to connect to anything like through servers. It's all local. It stores everything. So this here is optional. You don't need this, but I recommend it for if you're a beginner. I will link this in the description. But this lets you view the databases we're going to be creating and lets you create more tables within it or anything like that. So instead of just creating a new database like this, I'm going to show you guys how to do it in here in the code. So what we're going to do is on our main file, import, if I can spell today, import SqLite 3. And then we are going to do this on the onReady, just so it does it the first time. Like, you're not going to need to do it more than once usually. Especially if you have that database browser, you can just do it there. So what we're going to do is database equals SqLite 3.connect. And then we'll do, this is going to be the name of the file, so we're just going to name it main.SqLite. And this isn't the only source for databases. There's a good amount of databases like you can use. You can use JSONs for databases. Hell, you could even use a Google Drive spreadsheet for databases if you know how to connect to Google Drive. But there's plenty more than what I'm going over. I'm just going over what I prefer to use and what I think is good to use locally. If you don't have a need to go any bigger than like just server-wide, then I recommend this, especially over JSON in my opinion. JSON's good for maybe some config, but other than that, I would just use this. So what we're going to do now is cursor equals database.cursor. And then after that, we're going to just do cursor, if I can spell, .execute. And then you can do a 6, there's a word for it, but you can do 6 of these to allow you to kind of be able to see it better. So I'm just doing it like this so you guys can see how everything is. So we're telling it to create the table if the table does not already exist. And then we're going to name this table, we'll just name this main, because why not? There's a lot of mains. We're going to go ahead and tab this as well. After that, we're just going to do, we'll want the guild ID, store that as a text. And then what we're going to do today is we're going to be trying to make it where we can configure some things with this welcome event here. So we'll make it where you can set the channel, and then we'll make it to where you can change this message. So that's what we're going to be doing today with the database. So we'll do message text, and let's actually just shorten that to message. It's a little easier. And then we will do channel ID and put that as text. So now what you're going to do is just save this file and then run your bot. Ignore the Jarvis thing. That's a different project you guys will be seeing later on. That's a whole nother video. So if once it gets done loading here, it made our SqLite file here. And then what it's gonna do, I'm just gonna open up this browser here. We're gonna open database, and then we'll go to desktop, and then we'll just open the database. So this is the table that we just created. This one right here. If we browse data, this is basically these here. These are columns. So, whoops. These are the columns. We insert the information into the columns, and then we can kind of get that information from rows. So like, say we set the channel, right? And we want it to, like, we want the bot to get the channel ID where the guild ID is equal to whatever guild it's in. Then we can tell it to do that. So we can basically line everything up. Go ahead and close that, and then we can get rid of this now. We don't need this. That was just to make the first database. And like I said, you can create it in here as well. I just wanted to show you guys how to do it through the text there. So what we're going to do now is we will do @commands.command. Sync def, and then we will name this welcome. We'll do self and CTX. And then instead of command, we're going to change this to group, and then invoke without command equals true. So this is basically kind of categorizing everything. So say we do !welcome. If we do that, then it'll send whatever we tell it to do for this command. This is still a command, but now we can do like @welcome.command. So now this, the way you would activate this command here, we'll name this one channel. The way you would activate this command is you would do welcome channel, and then that will trigger whatever that this is saying. So it basically, like, they're just sub commands really, and a lot of people use those for help commands, custom help commands, which is a good way to do them, but I am coming up with a little better of a way to do it that I will eventually show you guys once I get it done myself. Because if you didn't know, this is my bot here, and I'm currently trying to make it for this bot. And then I'm going to show you guys how to make it as well. But I've got to get it done first. So what we're going to do is just await CTX. This can be changed. You guys can customize this message all you want. This is just telling in like available setup commands. You can make this an embed or anything that you want yourself. I'm just going to do it for simplicity reasons. I'm just going to do it like this. So we'll do channel, and then we'll do, actually here, let's just specify it a little more. So welcome channel, #channel, and then welcome, let's just do text. Welcome text message. So that'll like trigger that. We'll go ahead and shut this down while we are doing this so we can just start right back up. And then for channel, we will do self CTX and then channel discord.text channel. Now, what we're going to need to do now is we want to access the database that we just created. So let's first make sure like no random person can use this. So we'll just do ctx.message.author.guild permissions. We'll just do manage messages. So like moderators would be able to use this. Manage messages. And then what we're going to need to do now is we need to connect to this database. So we'll just do database equals, it's the same way as we did it earlier, SqLite 3.connect, and then we'll do main.SqLite. Once you connect to the database like that, we need to get the cursor. So cursor equals main.cursor. And then what we need to do now is we need to make sure the channel isn't already set. So we need to get a result, basically. What we need to do first actually is cursor.execute. And then we'll just do select. So this is getting, like, this is telling it what it needs to select. So select channel. We named that channel ID from, except that needs to be capital, from, and then the table is main, I believe. I believe that's what we named it, isn't it? Yep, table is main. We should have, I guess we should have named it welcome just to kind of keep it more organized for later, but we can change that later on. That's not a big deal. And then where guild ID is equal to, and this will be the CTX dot guild. So if the ID next to the channel is equal to the guild ID the command was used in, it's going to select that. So once we do that, we'll need to do results equals cursor dot fetch 1. So this just gets one result. So say we get rid of this where, right? So we just select channel ID from main. That would, instead of just getting one row, that would get every single row. So to get every single row, you would do fetch all. But we just want to get the one row that's equal to the guild that we're in. So we just want to fetch 1. And then if result is none. So if the result isn't anything, if it's not there, that means it hasn't been set yet. Then we'll want to do, we'll want to insert the info into it. So we'll just do SqLite, and then we'll do these insert into, and then we'll do main guild ID and channel ID. And then values. There are other ways to format this, by the way. Don't take my advice. This is most likely not at all the best way to format these things that we're doing here. I've always told I suck at formatting these, but you know, they work, so that's good enough for me. So what we're going to do now is the values are going to equal ctx.guild.id and the channel.id. So now we'll do cursor dot, actually we'll wait, we'll keep that there for now. Wait, ctx.send channel has been set to, and then we'll just do channel.mention. So if the result, we'll do an if result is not none. So if it's something, then we just want to, instead of insert into it, we'll want to update it. Just because some people might want to like change it, for instance. So if they want to change something, then this will be what we need to do for that. So get rid of the insert into, just put that as update, and then we'll just get rid of these. So we'll update channel ID. Actually, that needs to be the database name. So main, and then set channel ID equal to question mark, where guild ID is equal to question mark. And then same thing here, we'll just do these, except we're going to reverse them. So we'll put that there and that there. And then that will be updated to. So we'll get rid of that and change it to updated to. Once we do that, we'll just come down here and we'll do cursor dot execute, and then we will do SQL and VAL. So that way it'll execute these together for both of these. So we didn't need to write this twice. We just put it after both ifs. And then db.commit. This basically saves the thing that you just did. It makes sure it doesn't like go away. It saves it. And then we'll just do cursor.close and db.close. So this just closes out the database that we were using there. And then we will just go ahead and test that part out. So wait till it loads up. Okay, now let's see if it works. So welcome. So that shows you the available commands. It's the thing we just did. And then welcome channel. And since we don't have error messages yet, that'll most likely be the video after next. Welcome channel, hashtag tutorial testing. See, we've done something wrong. We forgot to import it. Simple mistakes are very common in coding, so don't get frustrated if you guys have come across all these simple mistakes that happen. Like, it happens to everybody. Come on, shut down. If we have time at the end of this video, I might go over a shutdown command to make this go a lot faster. We're just going to kill the terminal, make it go a little bit faster. Okay, let's try that again. Nope, we got something else. Main is not defined. Where is main not defined? Ah, I see. I usually name this main, so got it mixed up a little there. Third time's the charm? Yeah, but see, even there, just two little mistakes cause it not to work. So if you get errors and things, just make sure you read the error, and it's fairly easy to figure out. So channel has been set to tutorial testing. So if we refresh this, now the guild ID and the channel ID are both set. And if we look here, if we grab this channel ID and make sure it's the right thing. Yep, see, so it updated the database. And then we're gonna do the same thing except for a message. And then just for time's sake, we'll just copy and paste that, and then we'll change the name of it and get rid of this. Change that to text. So instead of only searching for channel ID, we're going to only search for text. Because if we look back here, oh, not text, message. So now this will select, instead of channel ID, it'll select message. and it should put it right here where it says null. If it says null, that means nothing's ever been inputted into it, or it's been deleted out of it. So basically we want to just remove this, name it text. Honestly, the simplest thing to do. Then this will be message, and then this will be message. And then if we go into here, and we'll just do message has been set to 2, and then we'll just put these in here to kind of separate it out a little. Copy this and move it down here. So now this should update the message itself now. So if we turn it back on, and then we do welcome text, welcome to the server. So it updated the message it's telling us. So if we go back here and refresh, welcome to the server. So that just filled in the last little blank there, and now we need to actually use that information. So we're just gonna, with that information, we're going to update this. And to do this, we're just going to basically tell it if the channel has not been set, don't do this. So we'll just grab our database here, just to make it a little quicker. Use some good old copy paste. Paste it in here. And then if result is none, so if the channel hasn't been set yet, then we're just going to tell it to return, because we don't want it to work if the channel hasn't been set. But if it has been set, we're going to come down here, and there is more you can go in depth. You can make it where, like, if the message hasn't been set, you can basically tell it to not, or to use like a default message, but just for time's sake, we're just not going to do that. So we'll grab this here, because we do still need another result, and we'll just name that result 1. And then we'll get message, and then from there we come here, remove that. Actually, before we do that, another thing you can do, especially with welcome messages, if you do, like, say, let's just do members equals, and then we will copy this. You can basically allow it to format things kind of customly. So, and then we can delete that. And then from here we'll do mention equals member dot mention. Oh, and it occurs to me we never put a self here. That is a thing that you should do if I missed it on there too. And then, so this will just get the member that joined, and it'll mention them. And then we'll do user equals member dot name. And then from there, instead of having this format with an F, for this we're gonna just do format, and then we'll do members equals members, mention equals mention, and user equals user. And then we'll also add a guild here as well. Guild equals member.guild. So then guild will equal guild. And then from there we need to do, we need to basically tell it to make this a string, and then we'll do result 1, and then we want the first thing in that result. So this is the first thing, so it would be 0. So we want the message from that result, and we wanted to put it right there. And then we want the channel as well. So this channel here, we're just going to remove this ID, and we're going to do init and then result 0. So this gets the channel ID that we set earlier. And then that's basically it. Let's try it out. Let me go grab my alt and I'll be right back, guys. Okay guys, so one quick thing. I forgot to change this from CTX to member, because there is no CTX on welcome events. So I believe that's all of them. And then we'll go ahead and kill the terminal, bring it back online, start the bot up. I will leave the server, if it'll let me here. Okay, so I've left the server. Bot is not online because I didn't press enter. So now if we join the server and then go back here, oh, we got some errors. Bot is not defined. That is because I forgot to put a self. Anytime there is a self, especially in the bot, you need to put self.bot for anything where there's bot. So, don't know if I mentioned that in a previous video. Sorry for the length of this video as well. Usually my videos aren't this long, but with the databases it's a bit more to cover than normal. So it's just a longer video because of what we're covering. So we'll try this one last time here. So, yep, here we go. Abject edit, and then this is the server, or this is the message that we set. But if we go ahead and do welcome text, and then we do welcome mention to the, actually just to guild. So that's the thing we said earlier. You are the, oops. You are the members, so that's how many members there are. User. But since I have not set up the thing that I normally do because of lack of time, it's just going to be a number instead of like a 12th. It's just going to be 12. But that's not a huge deal. It's fairly easily fixable. So now it's set the new message, and then if we try this one last time here, and then join. See, it used our new message, said the guild, we are the 11th user, and then it plopped me a mention right there. So that's the good thing about formatting those. You can basically allow people to set the things up more, so just more customization options basically. With that, I'm going to end the video here. Hope you guys enjoyed, and if you have any questions, join the Discord in the description below. I'm always willing to help out if I missed something or didn't go over something clearly enough. And then next video we're going to most likely be going over a leveling system, and then after that we'll be going over error error messages in general. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time.